Are we on? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Microphone check. Lights.
Cameras.
This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
7 minutes after the hour, 9 a.m. You are still tuned in to Culture Daily right here on 3 Music TV. And of course, we are in Studio 899. 899. And you are listening to us on Plus 89.9 FM. Of course, shout outs going out to the Uber drivers who have their dial tuned in anytime you pick up your passengers and get to enjoy some great music. And of course, most importantly, wise, intellectual, educational conversations. Yeah. That's what they tell us. That's what they tell us, you know. Yeah. But shout out to the Uber drivers, shout out to the taxi drivers as well. But in the meantime, let me pay some bills. And BBN Season 9 is back, and biggest house fortunes can shift in the blink of an eye. Just ask the aunt and the niece duo in Dine, who saw their Big Brother Niger Season 9 journey come to an expected end, with 12 pairs still fighting for the incredible 100 million naira. How much is that in Ghana cedis? Almost $1 million Ghana cedis. Wow. For misbehavior. They award you for misbehavior. Well, that's the grand prize, 100 million naira. No strategy is safe. Whether it's strong ships, couples pretending to be wedding prince, friends, or even playing chef. Okay, don't miss a beat of the action. Tune into Big Brother Niger Season 9, airing daily on DSTV channel 198 and GoTV channel 149. Available on DSTV Access and GoTV Plus. Stay plugged to all of the drama and dial star 759 to stay connected now. And let me take you to Live Resto Lounge at the Bawaleshi Road, East Legon, where every Sunday you get to enjoy some fantastic, delicious brunch from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Enjoy special dishes like tiozafi, omutu, and grano soup, fufu rice soup featuring tilapia, chicken, goat meat, and red fish. Call 020-133-7766 now to experience the Live Resto Lounge. Eat hot, eat good. And also, on Friday, they have what they call the Live Corporate Fridays. Live Corporate Fridays, at 9 p.m. Every Friday 9 p.m. sharp at Live Resto Lounge, East Legon. Again, don't forget to give your team a chance to win amazing prizes through karaoke, sports, and entertainment quizzes. You can also enjoy 5% discounts for all attendees. And don't forget to also call 020-133-776 now to be a part of Live Resto Lounge. Eat hot, eat good. Betway is giving you that money to go to Live Resto Lounge and enjoy that meal, okay? I is so cold that because of what that may be big, but Betway's cash out may be bigger. Don't try. All right, so do well to enhance our early, partial, and auto cash out feature, which allows you to cash your bets out early. Cash out a portion of your ongoing bets, or even set your bets to cash out automatically. All this to give you way more control over ever thrilling bet you place. Please do well to sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Betway, get way more. And before you even do that, do well to go to Lancaster University, Ghana. And that is because you are looking for a British degree at a fraction of the cost. Abroche Abagana. And I answer Nekano. Abroche Abagana. All right. Abochaba Ghana. All right. Do you want a vibrant student experience in a community that equips you with useful employability skills, taking you one step closer to the career of your dreams? Enjoy all of these and many more, plus up to 50% scholarship for your degree at Lancaster University, Ghana. Be taught by the finest faculty, trained to UK standards at our ultra-modern campus. For more information, please visit www.lancaster.edu.gh, and you can also contact us via email at admissions@lancaster.edu.gh, or call us on +233. That's if you're watching us outside Ghana, +233. And if you're in Ghana, 0209-607-008, 0209-607-008. And Lancaster University, the only British university campus in West Africa. Okay, the mics are up It's a Tuesday. Our doctor is in the building, and he didn't come alone this time. He came with a very beautiful, wonderful lady who happens to also be a midwife. Dr. Chris, please do us the honors to intro. Now you're a co-host now. You're no longer a guest.
Right.
On Tuesday you were a co-host.
No, I'm a guest. I'm still a guest.
No.
I like being a guest.
You are
No.
not.
No. Now you are.
At this point,
You are right
Come
now.
on.
You are a co-host. So, Dr. Chris, kindly introduce your guest to us.
Oh, so we have today with us. We have
Thank you.
Ajo,
Thank
the
you.
midwife.
Uh-huh.
She's on Instagram as Ajo, the midwife.
Uh-huh.
Ajo or midwife Ajo.
Uh-huh.
She's
Midwife
excellent.
Ajo.
She's smart, high IQ, and she's a people's person.
Come on.
And she didn't come alone. She came with her husband. So she came with her bodyguard. So those who are watching us, yeah, she's not single.
Hubby. Hubby.
Yeah, she has a lovely husband.
Those
Yeah.
of you like sending those remarks on Facebook, they have given you first warning. First gunshot. Ah?
first and only. First and
Yeah, that is
No, expect second warning.
Ajo, welcome to our humble abode.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Ajo, is that your voice?
Yes,
Guys.
that's my voice.
Guys. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to be here. I'm very glad I came.
We are very happy to have you because this conversation, when we started it, we were entering some places, and so we needed a midwife to bring, their experience. And so let's start with you. We've been talking about, the conversation of childbirth. There's the cesarean section, and there's the what they call the natural section. From what you said as a midwife, what is the difference between these two?
Okay. So, the cesarean section is an invasive procedure. It's a major operation. Okay, so it's an abdominal operation that's done to take the baby out. And the vaginal delivery, I won't say it's a minor procedure, but it's a less invasive procedure that the baby is delivered through the vagina of the woman. So basically, that's the difference I can share about that.
Okay, how many years have you been a midwife?
I've been a midwife more than 5 years, over 5 years.
5 years. So
Yes,
in your 5 years of being a midwife, right? What would you say is the benefit for each of these two? So let's start with the cesarean section. I mean, Doc last week he was scaring us. he was scaring. Doc said if the knife enter, that is it. Your life. You have to be using knives. So me, a midwife, he's a doctor. So you tell us a midwife.
You can only do it up to 3 times. That's what he said.
But but if you do it, then I want to give her to 6. I
Not-
want to give.
So you end at 3.
No. That is why she's here. So Ajo, Doc says with the CS, when the knife enters you, that is it. It's a journey of no return. And like Lenny says, you can only do up to 3. But what if the Lord has given me 6
Like
children?
Doc said last week, please. No be me, they talk about
As Lenny said.
Yeah. No be me.
Dr. Lenny.
No be me.
Well, yeah.
Yes, okay, so if someone has a cesarean section,
Yes.
and so it's all about the interval between the births.
Okay.
So what doctor said was, I believe what he said was, if you had a cesarean section and assuming you get pregnant less than 2 years, you would have to have another cesarean section.
Okay.
But if you have cesarean section and you wait to have another child after 2 years, we call something trial of labor.
Okay.
Would let you try vaginal delivery.
Okay.
If it doesn't go on well, then
we'll
we'd have
take it
another
out.
cesarean
And
section.
then
So
Doc,
it's
one
not
can say,
Men can say
Lenny already tell us.
No, not that I remember, but it's 2 years enough.
So 2 years is enough because by then it's believed, or researchers have said, that you would have healed. The wound would have healed. So the uterus would be able to go through the contractions and would be able to manage it well. Basically what we are worried about is something we call rupture of the uterus. If someone has had a cesarean section before and within or less than 2 years the person gets pregnant again, we are afraid that the wound might not have healed completely. It might. So when she goes through labor, the uterus could break, literal meaning. So we will say could rupture.
Okay.
So that's what we want to prevent. That's why we are saying that wait to 2 years, or if you get pregnant again, we will not let you go through labor.
Have you had a peculiar situation like this before in your 5 years of practice? Have you seen that where, give us the two case scenario where, someone went through CS and under 2 years they came back, all right, and someone obviously who had gone to the CS, and then after 2 years, like, so give us the under and the after, and how these experiences differed in your experience as a midwife.
Okay, so if someone gets pregnant, so I've had several instances because of what I do. So apart from working at the hospital, I do something. You can look for me on social media, Midwife Ajo, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I had people coming at me because they were like, do you have a child? You are so young.
Wow.
And fortunately, I have a child. I went through labor before I ended up at the theater. So I had an emergency CS.
Oh, wow.
So what happens is that anytime someone is in labor, lots of things can make your labor, like in my case, became a cesarean section. So let me just quickly answer your question.
Yeah.
So because of what I do, I've had clients who reach out, midwife, like, I got pregnant again, and it's less than 3 months. I've had people that 3 months they are breastfeeding, but they still got pregnant.
Wow.
And I tell them, oh, I'm so
say, wow.
sorry. I have to empathize with
explain
you.
how that happens.
After empathizing with them, I tell them, oh, it's rather unfortunate that you would have to have another cesarean section again. So I let them relax, teach them what they should do, what they should expect, because I'm told that the second and third CS is a bit painful. That's what people say.
Yeah.
Ajo, what's the risk in and with that? Because if you've just had a cesarean section and then 3 months later you are pregnant, isn't that very dangerous, or quite dangerous for the mother? Also because there's a possibility of the wound reopening, because that's the first
one.
Wow, because I think they give you about 6 weeks after for you to heal, but after that as well you still have to take exceptional care of yourself. So isn't in 9 weeks getting pregnant, or maybe 12 weeks, 12 weeks getting pregnant after, isn't that a lot?
You want to take this?
You can take it. You can take
Okay,
it.
so what you are saying is ideal situation where everything goes well, we stitch the stitching, everything is done properly. We give you interval about 2 months maximum for it to everything should be fine. Now, in the case where you've gotten pregnant in the 3rd month, our fear is that, as she mentioned, rupture. Our fear is the wound, and then because it's layers, which one is going to break first? Do we need to go in while you are pregnant to go and stop the bleeding? There's all questions that we'll be asking ourselves. So we have to work hand in hand with the midwives, where they have to come in and trying to give us updates on what's going on. How is the wound looking like? Is there any discharge? So we tell the patient to be looking out for some of these things, because as the abdomen is distending, so is the wound, the sutures we've done.
Yeah.
So yes, you are right. There's a risk for that. But most of the times it goes so well that doesn't happen. That's when we will recommend that she has to go for CS again, because we can't. And even after the second CS, when we do it, we will warn you that please, this can't happen again. So the next one should be 2 years, as she's saying, 2 years interval.
So Doc, are you saying that after the CS is done, the education, or shall I say the recommendation, is that they may have to introduce some level of
abstinence,
Contraception.
yes,
and all that,
yes.
And how does let's look at the mental health impact on the mother, or especially if the mother is a young mother. If it's an older mother, I want to believe they may have a
bit of experience,
experience to understand. But if it's a young mother, like in Ajo's case, where they even thought that she's too young
to give you advice on this,
advice first of all, and the fact that, or even on the blind side, the fact that they didn't know she had already had a child. So there's already that societal,
about young people,
prejudice.
yeah.
Yes. So let's talk about the mental health implications about this CS route, and how do you as a doctor, you as a midwife, prepare, or shall I say, after it is done, you get them to feel beautiful again?
Yes. So the first step we do is pre-op. Something we call pre-op.
What's that?
Before surgery or before an operation.
Pre-operation.
Yeah, pre-operation.
Okay.
Then we have like post-op, like after.
Right.
So the pre-op is very, very important in any surgical situation, because you need to explain the procedure to the patient.
Okay.
You need to explain the risk factors.
Okay.
What you are expecting, what could happen, and when it happens, what you do. So, and after the procedure, we discuss with you what we need you to do. As in, don't be lifting weights, as you hear people say. Don't be straining the wound area, keep it dry, and all that. Now, in preparing somebody psychological for a surgical procedure, it's never easy. Because the prejudice about people going under the knife and not coming back is there in this country.
Yes.
So there's this whole mental fortitude about if you go, you might not come back. That people around the person is saying, hey, and that's why it comes to certain places in Ghana. Certain hospitals, if you mention it, people think that when you go, you won't come back. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it's the skill set of your physician.
And it's slowly becoming a superstition, though.
A superstition.
Yeah.
It's becoming so a lot of people are keeping certain conditions at home and waiting till the last minute to come.
That's right.
That's why we're having a lot of mortality. So we always, when we have the chance to be on it, we always tell people, when you see a sign, come early. The earlier we diagnose, the earlier treatment begins, and the earlier you go home.
Yeah.
You see, but you don't wait at last minute and then you come. So for the CS mental state, we give you the options. We look at the child, we look at the size of the child, we look at the weight, we look at all this before we tell you, okay, we are recommending this, and there's that. But we recommend this because you feel you can do this. So then maybe we have to come and explain to you that vaginal delivery is this way or that way. And they know when it comes to a point where it's beyond what they can, they bring us in. That's when we do the CS. So we work hand in hand with them.
Okay, so I like the fact that you introduced this. So where do you start?
And where do we come in?
Yes, where do you start and where do you end for Doc to come in as a midwife?
Okay, so
take us through the process. So we bring the woman in labor to the hospital. I'm sure the midwife will receive you, right? So take us through your processes and when you pick up the phone and call Doc.
Okay. So when a woman comes in labor, we do the normal things. Basically, we'll call it vital signs.
Vital signs.
We check your blood pressure, check your temperature, check your pulse. And because you are pregnant, one very important thing we need to check is your baby's heartbeat.
Okay.
We want to check to see if your baby is alive, because if we don't get heartbeat and would let you know that we've not had a heartbeat. We'll do everything we can to get a heartbeat. And if we don't get a heartbeat, then we'd have to take a scan to be sure that your baby is fine. Then after that, we'll do vaginal examination.
Before you just put the page marker there.
I knew you asked that.
When you say you check the baby's heartbeat,
yes,
the woman
please.
has come, she's in pain or she's in labor, right?
Yes, please.
You are checking the vitals, but you also need to check the baby's heartbeat.
Yes.
Is it that naturally the babies don't have heartbeats in that stage of labor or what?
So the babies have heartbeat, like we are supposed to have a heartbeat.
Right.
So because of what I've experienced, a lot of instances that you might get a heartbeat now, and after some minutes you are not getting heartbeat again.
What does that mean?
A lot of things can cause it. Okay, so let me just continue. Let me not go ahead of myself.
Okay.
So
Take your time. You have a lot of time.
So you examine the woman vaginally,
Right.
and you want to just get all your findings to be able to report to the doctor, tell the doctor what you've done so far. Then, depending on what you've gotten, you would inform the doctor about your findings, and he tells you, okay, so Ajo, these are good findings, let's continue monitoring the patient. Then we'll continue monitoring. So in instance, so assuming we are monitoring, the woman's water has not broken, we would ask her, if you don't mind, we would want to break your water.
Okay.
Because when we break your water, it's likely that your labor could go a bit faster.
Okay.
How is the water breaking done?
So we do vaginal examination, and we use a certain instrument we call cocker or amnion hook to break the water. They did it for me. So we put our hands in.
Yeah.
We put our hands in.
Then we
The whole hand is not.
No, like two fingers.
Two
I'm
fingers.
sorry about that.
No, because it's your hands.
Okay, so
I'm
we put
sorry
our
about
two
that.
fingers in.
Two
Yeah.
fingers.
Sorry, we are sorry. We are not putting our whole fist down.
And then those cases, though, where
Let
you
me
have to
pull
put
the
like
image
your
of the
whole-
cocker for me. Let me see something.
Your whole hand.
Pull the
Cocker.
image for the
And then
cocker.
those
Oh,
cases.
let's
You say it's called
she
amnion.
should pull the image of amnion hook rather.
Amnion. Is it because
Amnion
of
hook.
amniotic
Not take,
sac?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, we are getting it. Oh,
Yeah.
you are there.
That will
Amniotic
hook the
sac.
sac and break the water.
Okay.
So
Right.
after all of that, so when the water breaks, the water is supposed to have a normal water is supposed to be clear, or a normal amniotic fluid is supposed to be clear, like water. Okay. However, there are instances that the amniotic fluid can be bloody.
Okay.
Can be greenish. If it is greenish, we will say that your baby has pooped into the water.
Okay.
Or we will say that it's meconium stain.
Is that positive?
No, it's not positive.
Not a good sign.
Mostly when babies poop into the water is because they are in distress or they are struggling to breathe well.
Okay.
Wow.
So it's not a good sign. And sometimes, so even the color of the green determines how your baby is in distress. So we have grades of the amniotic fluid.
Okay.
We have some that's so light, it's like a light green. Others are thick green. So all of that informs us on what to do. Then I wanted to, I stressed on the part of the heartbeat.
Yeah.
Because I ended up at the theater because my baby's heartbeats were very high.
Hey, a bit.
Now it was above the normal range.
And that's not good.
Yes, it's
No,
not
that's not
good.
good.
Wow.
So if we don't take actions, we could lose your baby, and we don't want that to happen to you. So so labor can be going on, and if it's not going on well, then we inform the doctors. Then they take the action, like doctor said, they'll come and talk to the client. One of the things I want to add to what doctor said was that, like you asked, most of the patients are anxious. They are very anxious and very worried. But one of the things I do, and we've been taught to do, is to introduce them. That's the amnion hook there.
Hey, it's just a Chinese.
So the two fingers, see where it's placed, it goes with the two fingers. So it sort of like introduces it.
Wow.
That's the amnion hook.
Lenny.
Looks like a knitting pin.
Yes, like a fishing
that's
hook.
Small, this
Yeah.
thing. So that part of it, is it sharp or is blunt?
Yes, it's sharp.
It's sharp.
It's
It's
supposed
sharp.
to be very pointed so that it can break the.
So it's not like you are going to make a long incision. You just sort of need it to just
Are
rupture a
you
bit.
breaking anywhere at all of the sac? Or
Yes, anywhere
Anywhere
at
at all,
all.
where
Okay,
you can
okay.
reach.
Okay.
Wow.
She.
Please go ahead. You were telling us something about the. I'm enjoying this. Wow. So you need to.
The poop, the heartbeat.
Yeah, and then the anxiety that comes with the whole process, especially for the woman.
So what I do is that when I know someone who has had a successful surgery, I introduce you to the person.
Okay.
So I tell you that, okay, so Amma, this is Ifwa. Ifwa also was in your situation. And fortunately, she had a successful procedure. So when you meet someone who has had a successful procedure, it gives you that kind of comfort. You are relaxed. Because you know that, okay, I'm not the only one in this. Someone has also gone through and the person had a successful procedure. So basically, after the consent, I would advise that if possible, they can introduce them to people that have had successful procedures.
Can that be done earlier than when you're in labor? Can that be done
antenatal
maybe
class.
antenatal and all of that, so that introduction happens way earlier?
The
Then somebody
prenatal.
has that clarity of mind to say that, okay, should worse happen and I can't put to bed naturally, then I would opt for CS. So that is not a late decision being made. Because I think that sometimes when that decision is made late, it also, snuffs the life out of the baby.
What she's saying is very good advice. And we do it, I think we do it in cancer clinic. Cancer clinic, we get people who are in cancer or kidney. The dialysis will tell you they have groups.
So like WhatsApp groups?
Yes, some form groups, and they, try to
Support
support
groups.
each other, support groups.
Groups, yeah.
In movies and outside, they have it a lot. Here, it's not in mainstream here. We are trying to. So what she's saying is right. Getting people, even in antenatal, you said the way you go together, everybody is pregnant, everybody is sort of, wow, what is your 6 weeks? It helps to, have you given birth before? Have you given birth? This is how it was. It helps to also calm you and know that this is not, it's a phenomenon, it's beautiful. I feel motherhood is very beautiful. It takes a lot out of you. And I have so much respect for women. I'm always saying this. I have so much respect for women because of that. Because a child is like a parasite, basically. It invades. It sits on everything. It does whatever it likes.
Yeah.
Besides what the mother would do, it doesn't care.
Yeah.
It wants to come back to this world, and you are supposed to nourish it until it comes.
Yeah.
So this is really, really important. And you are right about saying that maybe it would be a good idea for us to start some of these conversations early about you deciding whether you want to go with the CS or you want to go with the natural vaginal delivery, which is important, but things change in the field of play. You might decide to go a certain way, and in between. Last time I was mentioning about something like a big baby, so like a better way. The child comes to, the head goes to, but the shoulders don't go through.
Reach.
A child can get shoulder dystocia because of that. Well, if you pull too much, that's what's going to happen. So because of that, we have to do an episiotomy, make an incision, make the opening wider to get the child out. All these things are traumatic. Right, so childbirth on its own though very beautiful, is something we are very careful about. Because it's not only one life that is involved, it's 2 lives involved.
2 or more.
2 or more, sorry.
depending
depending
on
on,
whether-
yes,
yeah.
depending on the gestation.
Triplets,
Right.
quadruplets.
Doc, you
all
see,
of that.
I mean, where you take this conversation to, and the junction you've arrived at is exactly what we were trying to achieve last week about the societal norms surrounding some of these revelations, in connections to, especially the CS delivery. We talked about where religion and faith and even superstition play all sort of roles, because if you have like a particular group of religious folks or religious type of patients who come to you for advice, and you advise them and then say, Master any day in fact
Sekan
Nazarite ni Sekan committee and Kabibia, but you are coming from an informed decision. You are coming from a place of deep insights, analysis, and so on and so forth. How do you bridge that gap? How have you been able to because obviously you see, the beauty about science and religion, or science and faith, is you cannot do without both of them. They've always been at
together,
each other's necks.
Yeah.
Where science fails, faith will have
Will
to step in.
yeah.
And often where faith may fail, science have had to prove its point, right? But
And
for
we
you,
always proving each other right too.
you understand. So how do you bridge the,
The
gap
balance,
here?
eh?
Yeah, it's 2 things that is just, it's amazing how they work hand in hand. Sometimes,
Yeah.
because some things are there you can't explain. Some things happen in the hospital, she'll tell you. Some things can happen you just can't explain.
So give me like typical example. For example, you have a patient, you look at the vitals, everything, and you're like, no, this is what we need to do a CS. The patient said, no, I'll go through natural birth, and then the result is the total opposite of what you expected.
So I had an instance about 2 months ago. Is it a month or 2 ago? Okay, so currently I'm at the labor ward.
Okay.
So I was monitoring this case. Okay, so when we come to work, we are assigned to rooms.
Okay.
And the person I was monitoring was 8 centimeters dilated.
You
So,
need to explain.
I'm coming to explain.
Because
So
What's
when I
the-
got here
what's the,
before, I realized, I
the
should have
range?
brought
The
my...
range 10.
Yes, it's supposed
they have
to
a
be,
thing. They have an
I
instrument.
should have brought it.
where-
I left it.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they can-
I left it.
But what is it?
Sorry.
10?
we use 2 fingers.
It's supposed to be 10.
10, okay.
Okay.
Right.
So when it's 8 centimeters, is that good or bad?
So she's making progress
Okay.
because she'll get to
She'll
10.
get to 10. Okay. All right.
She has come
So
a
it starts-
long way.
So- done
So
well.
we start from 4.
Okay.
We start from 4. Some can come with 4. Some can come at 6. It depends on how the
As in,
person.
when you say can that's it,
labor
at the
progression,
time they
labor.
entered
Yes.
the hospital.
Yes, I'm saying labor progression.
Progression, okay.
Yeah, let me use that word, labor progression. How labor progresses to
Okay.
delivery.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
So we need a certain form of dilation for us to say that okay,
We are ready to
we are ready to push or not. Basically, so sometimes we go in there and you put your finger and you measure the CM and you come out and say okay, she's at this point, and we plot on a pathograph. There's a graph where we are plotting all this, the
Wow.
temperature, the heartbeat, we are plotting. So the progression of the graph tells you, oh, this labor is progressing nicely. This is what we are
Or
getting
not.
to, right, or not.
Okay.
And then you need to intervene. Sometimes you need to intervene and come in there.
When you say intervene, that means the progression has stalled.
Either yes, sometimes the mother
It's
can
not
lose.
going how you want it.
Yes.
Yes, the mother can lose power, or the contractions are in between. They are too wide apart, right? Because sometimes we tell the mother to count for us. When you feel it, let us know. That's 1 per certain time interval.
Wow,
If
that's a
whether
lot-
it's
that's a lot
delayed,
happening.
there's a lot happening. That's what I'm saying. That's what we
Small
always
heart and
advocating,
sign.
that they need to go for the antenatals. You need to be going
Prepare yourself.
because some of this information is shared over there. Their work is not easy. People see them walking around like that.
I mean,
Midwives.
you are putting the fear and faith in them at the same time. So I don't know how you guys are.
Yeah,
Yo,
there's-
Ajo was going to share a story.
Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
please.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a case I was monitoring. Like I said, she was 8 centimeters dilated. She needed to be 10 centimeters. So when you are 8 cm, we would examine you after 2 hours because we believe that in an hour you should add another centimeters. Like the
Right.
cervix should be another centimeters dilated. So by 2 hours time, you should have been 10 centimeters dilated. So this lady after 2 hours was still 8 centimeters. And another 2 hours came and she was still 8 centimeters. So the doctor came, like I informed the doctor, and the doctor came and the doctor said, Auntie, like the way the things are going on, it's likely we would have to take you downstairs. So let's give her 1 hour. I will just monitor this case. After an hour, bring her downstairs for CS. Then this woman, immediately she had CS. She stood up, like she was lying down. She stood up. She said, like I had broken the water. Everything was going on fine. Oh. And she's giving birth before.
Okay.
It's just that the intervals between the births, it's been so long. I think her first child is 12 years, and there's her recent pregnancy. So She was like, oh, auntie, I have to give birth today. So she said, I beg, mami from Ebusianfo. And you know, we don't let them bring phones because of lots of things. Yeah. So I allowed her to call a relative because I believe she said she wants to talk to her pastor. She wants to talk to people to pray for her. She called, Mom mommy, like, she can't come. Like, she said a lot of things. She was praying, she was anxious, she was so desperate. She said she was speaking to her baby, and I was praying with her because I wanted her to know I'm in this with you. Fortunately, before an hour, she gave birth. Like, we were all surprised. We were all like, how did it happen? Because truly she was 8 centimeters. But by the time I realized baby was out, like, I gave it to that baby before I closed. So I think faith has a part to play in this. However, I always tell people that you can't live like you. There should be a balance, like we are saying. You can't say that. I've had people who are Jehovah Witness that will say they don't take blood, but when there's an emergency and they need it badly, they consent. They allow us to give it to them. Yeah. So there's that thin line between faith and medical, like our field.
And science.
Yes, please. If there's a need that we would have to give go to an intervention for you to be alive and have a healthy baby, why not? Why not? So like I said, I have a lot of clients I educate. I think over the weekend I was telling them that when you are planning to go to the hospital, you don't go with the mind that, oh, I'm going to have a vaginal delivery. No. I've been educating them. I also went with the mind that I was going to have a vaginal delivery because when I was home, the contractions I was feeling, I thought I was getting there. Like, I thought when I get there, they'll say, Ajo, you are 10 centimeters dilated,
let's go.
push. And I got there and they said I was 6, monitoring 6. Then I ended up at the theater. So I tell them, go with both of this, like this bed options in mind.
Yeah.
So that you are not taken by surprise. Pack as though you are going for a cesarean section. Don't pack like you are going for a vaginal delivery. Plan as though you are going to have a cesarean section. Do everything as though you are going to have a cesarean section, so that if you end up having a vaginal delivery, glory to God. Whatever comes your way, you are willing and ready to accept it. Thank you.
I think my last question would be if there are any financial implications to any of these routes. I mean, obviously, when you go to the vaginal delivery, the financial implications are straightforward, right? But with the CES, you have a lot of surgeries coming in, or you have a lot of incisions coming in. Then the post treatment, which I'm sure you guys do. So, what is the financial burden like?
Every facility is different. Okay. I think the privates are different, government's also different. But I think the affordable one is natural. Okay. The midwives, the affordable one is natural. But we try our best. Some of my colleagues will tell you sometimes we pool our money together to help.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Why is it that expensive?
It's not everybody can afford.
Wait, are you saying that even with the CS,
please now NHIS? Hey, I'm sorry about that. It's expensive, please.
Does the NHIS cover that?
Okay, so where I work currently, the NHIS can slash it a little bit for you.
So are you saying that even the CS is expensive?
Yes, please. No, so the
Healthcare
average Ghanaian cannot be able to. So, like I'm saying, I tell my clients, plan financially too.
Yeah, you have to be ready.
Because it's very, very important.
Because you don't want to stay after.
Even if you're having twins, you pay additional for having twins.
So that's double the cost.
Not double, but like yes.
We are going to like basically you pay for anesthesia. You are going to pay for the procedure,
the team,
your medications. You are paying for it. The bed you are lying on, you are paying for it. And if your babies need additional care, unfortunately sent to the neonatal intensive care unit,
that's extra.
You are paying for additional cost.
Do you think that's
no? But you can still do vegetarian
to people not deciding to do CS also because of cost.
Just prepare financially. None of them is like doctor said. Okay, it's true. what happens is that when you have a vaginal delivery, you have shorter stay at the hospital.
Okay.
So the more you stay at the hospital, the more the
you pay.
cost.
The bed.
Because
it's
if
bed
you-
per day.
Yeah,
Unless so for the
Per
natural
day.
for
So
the
plus
the
your
natural
feeding and all that,
causes-
you know.
For the natural causes, unless something goes wrong,
Then you
Yeah,
pay
well,
more.
unless
stay in the
something-
Yes.
hospital.
you
for
leave by the
long.
next day if everything is fine.
Yeah, because I think if we check the pad and everything, the bleeding, the urine output, everything's fine. You are good to
You are
go.
good to go.
Charlie,
the
if
next
you are
day.
if you are listening to us and you're watching the show, I just pray for you. I pray for you. I pray for mothers. I pray for forthcoming mothers.
Fathers.
I pray for fathers. And this is what fathers have been subjected to in the labor. This is why they say when you go into the labor hole and you come out, you're not the same.
you know the
How
same.
have they been subjected
No,
to what?
no. There's as part of the emotional support, right? Society is going to the point where, or society is encouraging men to support their women in the labor ward, because sometimes when you lock eyes with the man who put you there, he gives you the vim to go on. You understand?
When you said subjected, I thought
Like a negative say no, like a
Yeah.
positive say no.
That's how I was wondering, because the woman
No.
is the one going
No,
through
no,
all
no,
of
no.
it.
Say that
Have
right
you ever seen a man collapse in the theater before?
Yes.
No,
Oh,
it
Yeah,
happens
ask
there.
him.
Yes,
Ask
they
him.
collapse.
Strong men, strong men.
They don't get happy.
Strong men.
We have prepared
See, you know
myself.
what they do? You know, you're supposed to in CS. So you need to be speaking to a woman.
Yeah.
Whilst we work behind the screen, we put
Yeah.
a screen between you and us.
Yeah.
So we'll be whilst you're talking, it helps us to know whether you're alert, so
Yeah.
anesthesia is working
Yeah.
properly,
Yeah.
right? Now, when we are doing it, someone won't come and see what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So they are not supposed to do, but some people over the screen to
Some are
see,
even tall.
some tall enough to see what we are doing. So rather that he's holding the wife's hand and he's probably leaning on maybe a tray or something,
Yeah.
and then we realize the tray is moving. Then
He's going.
He's going.
He did go.
But because you are also your hands are somewhere you're working, you can because you can say, hey, hold that gentleman, he's gone.
No, what is happening?
So you're gonna wake up, your wife wakes up, and you either in the ward you have the mother, the child in the middle, and the father.
And the father.
So now that you talk about this, right, briefly, what happens psychologically with the man? What is going on with his system? How is he like? What is happening? What is going on with the system of the man?
Okay, so the first thing that happens is the first thing a man has to deal with in the first instance is I am pregnant.
The man has
That's
to,
the first shock
man has to-
that a man feels when it comes to pregnancy. The first one is when she says, "I missed my period."
Shock
I think
or excitement or happiness,
Depending
depending on
It's a
how
So a
long
shock-
you
a
waited
shock
or
can lead
how
to-
much you are
yeah, so it's a shock.
anticipating on
No
your
matter
labor.
every news I give you, whether it's good or bad, it's a shock to the system.
depending on what you did to.
Really?
Yes. Yes. So yeah, if we
Lily is crazy.
yeah, because if I tell you if you play the lottery and I tell you you've won, you get a message. It could mean two things: either you lost or you won.
Yeah.
And both are shocks. Now let me move on. So briefly, the first one always say is the first one is you hearing that your partner is pregnant. That's the first one you have to deal with because psychologically you have to start thinking, okay, what do we need to do? Things have to change now. Financially, the space she's in, what does she need? I need to, antenatal, all that has to come in. That information is like, it floods you.
Yeah.
So we are happy you have a child, yes, but all of a sudden you sit back and you're like, okay, where do we go from here?
Yeah. The
Now-
mind is playing games. His mind is just
Then the second one is when she's getting to labor.
okay.
Where they've given a date, we can give you a date, estimated date.
forecast.
Yeah, you can forecast when we
Okay.
think estimated date of delivery, calculate it.
I see.
Then we can tell you when we think you'll be ready.
Yes.
Now, that day when you are packing, that week in which you are packing, you are getting the things. The nurses will give you a list of what they think you need. You are packing, and you ask him, "Oh, I need to buy this. When I can buy me this, buy me that," and that's the second one because you're like, okay, we are doing this.
It's almost here.
Yeah, we are actually doing this. Then the whole week he's anticipating. Because,
anxiety is
because the
playing a
car keys
serious
are
role
kept
here.
somewhere.
Yeah.
The car keys are kept somewhere. Whether it's a boat driver that you need to contact them that I might need you, so it'll be open.
Yeah.
All these things are the man is doing all this because the wife can't deal with that at the moment.
Exactly.
So that's you
Yeah.
making sure everything goes well. Now we are there. The child, she said, "I'm feeling control. I feel I need to go now." Car moves. Pass everything to the car.
Another
So the
shock.
bag is not open though. That bag is not open though. It's kept by the door. As soon as it comes, we are going.
Sharp.
Then the third instance is when you actually entering the hospital facility, where the wheelchair comes out, they put her in there, and then she's going there. And the question they ask you is that, please, you need to go and fill the forms, So if you look at people's handwriting on the forms when they're filling it, those who take the info, will tell you right at the pen is shaking. Like because it's like what's your name? What's your wife's name? You know that whole thing. NHIS. You are going down, and then because you're in labor ward, you start hearing other women, making noises and other things. Nurses moving up and down. Then you're like wondering, is that mine? Then the information comes that do you want to join us? Some opt to join us, some opt not to. Because some people have phobia of blood.
Okay.
Some people have phobia of even hospital, the smell of the place.
Okay.
So those who can stand there for them, like, I need to be a man, I need to go in there. Then it comes to that, you go and test your metal against. And I tell you that you think you're a man until you feel the contractions of pregnancy.
Wow.
You know, it's not joke. You can poop on yourself.
Yo.
Yeah, this is not diarrhea. This is you eating and you are normal and you poop on yourself.
Have you had boleros coming to the labor?
Oh yeah.
Really?
We've had not to mention certain places that I've been at when I was at a certain place.
I'm not bored.
Oh yeah, like well-paid gentlemen with beards, like doc, do all you can for my wife, you know. Yeah, and I've had men also promise their wife stays in the theater because the woman is pushing, she's not encouraged. The husband was like, I'll buy you a car, I'll buy you that, and
that's when the push gifts.
That's when like the motivation is there. Because this kid's bringing a car. So they come in with this kind of vim is there. Doctor, Charlie, thanks, You know, like, oh yeah, where should I stand? Then we will put you the scrap, like protective gear. You stand here. Please stand here for us. Behave your course. The next will go. They'll tell you before we go in. They'll tell you what you need to stand in. You know, some when we are done, you have to carry the child. Some want to keep it close. Yeah. So they are there, and that's the final one. Where he's holding the hand, the woman is squeezing your hand. A woman in labor can break your bones.
Jeez. Okay.
Wow.
That grip. Because they're channeling that pain all into that grip.
They're pouring it out. Yeah, okay.
So the screaming is natural. The nurses are doing so well because they encourage you. Yeah. Whether you're a nurse, a midwife, and you've not given birth before, there's when you have to act like you've done. You give birth because you have to bridge that gap and make the person feel like we are in this. I'm not leaving until this is done. Right. So the man is gripping your hand. He says the man's face is changing. His eyes are like, this grip is like, like. And then the insults also come. Certain women use the opportunity to tell you their peace of mind.
Kofi Baba.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going.
All the things she wanted to tell you that.
I don't know.
Oh, come out. You get certain insults that I say, you did this to me. You did that. You did like all that. Come out.
Yeah.
I have to
go. Thank you so much. I mean, if you continue like this, we might not end the show. But Najo, thank you so much for coming. I think your perspective was very, very interesting and very, very important, especially with the processes. Especially where your job starts, it ends, and then Doc obviously come in. Doc, thank you so much. Dr. Chris has always been our in-house doctor. Now I say he is
we are not
co-host of Culture Daily on Tuesdays. Okay, I'm sure I will be seeing you often. Because
October is coming. Lenny's month is coming.
Yeah. I mean, she's already giving us
the pink vibes.
Thank you. My name is Olala Islam. I did this with Lenny Lomote. Lenny, this day you've not been telling us your long introduction.
Oh, it's not long at all. It's a national TV and radio presenter living in Ghana at the moment.
Bye-bye.
Culture Daily was brought to you by Telecel.